Here you see Meadowbrook Elementary School with a teacher sitting at her desk, all alone in an empty classroom. Good morning, class. But there's no response. Well, that's why you are at home with an iPad, tablet, or computer, and you are going to be doing some digital learning at home. Look at that. Today's objective is that we are going to add within 1,000, adding 2-digit numbers to 3-digit numbers. And we are going to use a partial sums strategy. All right, so our problem says a beekeeper started with 827 bees. He added a tray of 90 bees to the hive. How many bees does the beekeeper have now? So I ask myself, what is this problem asking? We can identify those important parts, such as he started with 827 bees. He added, keyword there, he added 90 bees to the hive, which then our question is, how many bees does the beekeeper have now? We want to add those two parts together. So we are going to use various partial sum strategies. The first one that we are going to use is a base 10 model. The first thing that I do when I have a base 10 model is that I want to make out that place value chart. So we make the chart with the ones, then the tens, and then the hundreds. When we have our place value chart ready, we are able to start putting those numbers on that chart. So I look at my first add-in, which is 827. So I'm going to use the color blue to represent it. 827, there are 8 hundreds, so here are 8 blue squares representing those hundreds. Then I look in the tens place, and there is a 2 in the tens place. And so I draw out 2 lines, 1, 2. And then looking at the ones place, there are 7 ones, so I count out 7 ones, making sure that they're all nice and organized. It makes it easier for me to add things up. Next I look at my second add-in, which is 90. I'm going to switch the colors, and to show 90 there are 0 hundreds, so I'm not going to put anything in the hundreds place, but there are 9 tens. So if I count out 9 tens, and then there are 0 ones, so I'm not going to put anything in the ones place either. Now remember that we're doing a partial sum strategy, so I'm going to add up the different parts and then add up all those sums. So if I look first in the ones place, I can add up what I have, and I just have 7 ones. Then I count all the tens. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're adding 11 tens. And then looking in the hundreds place, and I can see that there are 8 hundreds. So now, is that my answer? No, but that just tells me what all those parts are. So 8 hundreds, 11 tens, and 7 ones. So if I write each of those out by place value, that would show me that I have 8 hundreds, that 11 tens equals 110, and then adding those 7 ones. So I have those 3 parts that I'm going to add together. Adding the 800 and the 100 is 900, the 10 and the 7 to be 917. Okay, we use the base 10 method, and now we're going to switch to expanded form. Now remember that expanded form is that we take the number 827 and each digit represents something, so we're going to expand it by place value. So we have the 8 of 827 represents 800, the 2 represents 20, and 7. So 800 plus 20 plus 7. Now we look at that second digit, which is 90. So there's nothing in the hundreds place. There's a 9 in the tens place, which represents 90, and then there's also nothing in the ones place. So we have our equation set up with 800 plus 20 plus 7, and we're going to be adding 90 to that. And again, notice how things are lined up by place value. So we have the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. When things are lined up vertically and horizontally, it helps us to keep things nice and organized, and then we are able to be better mathematicians as we solve these problems. So if we start in the ones place, we had 7 plus 0 equals 7. In the tens place, 20 plus 90. I can use a strategy such as starting with 90 and keep counting up. So 90, 100, 110. And then adding in the hundreds place, we have 800 plus 0 to equal 800. So we have those three parts, 800 plus 110 plus 7. So we can put the 800 and the 100 together to be 900, plus 10 plus 7 to equal 917. Our next strategy is using partial sums in the standard form. So I have my two addends lined up vertically, 827 plus 90. I'm going to start by adding what's in the ones place. So 7 plus 0 is 7. Then I look in the tens place, that 2 plus 9 relates to 20 plus 90, and that equals 110. And then I look in the hundreds place. Looks like we kind of have a little glitch in the video. Sorry about that. Alright, so here it was just the finished product since the video wasn't working. But you can see on the left with the green that we added the ones first, and then the tens, and then the hundreds, and then added those three partial sums up. On the right side with the red, I started adding with the hundreds first and got 800 plus 0 is 800. Add the tens, 20 plus 90 to be 110, and then the ones, 7 plus 0 equals 7. Either way works. If we're starting with the hundreds first or the ones first, it doesn't matter. However, if we're using a regrouping strategy that we'll be talking about tomorrow, then it is easier to start with the ones place and then move towards the left, going to the larger place value. In summary, we used base 10 models, expanded form, and standard form to answer the question of how many bees does the beekeeper have now, and we can now say that he has 917 bees. Now it is your turn to practice.